Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Growing fears that Arsenal's star season is over amid lack of progress recovering from injury. There is reportedly a growing fear that Arsenal defender William Saliba will not be playing again this season as he fails to recover from injury. The France international was in superb form for the Gunners this season before a setback ruled him out of the recent fixtures, with Rob Holding looking unconvincing in his place. Unfortunately, it's not looking good for Saliba, with the 22-year-old now ruled out of Wednesday's crucial trip to Manchester City, while he may not even play again this season, according to The Athletic. Arsenal fans will no doubt be gutted by this news, with Mikel Arteta's side surely likely to have been in more serious contention to win the title if they'd kept Saliba fit. Arsenal's hopes are not entirely over yet, but they have drawn three league matches in a row at a crucial stage in the campaign, and it's clear the defense is far less solid without Saliba's influence. One imagines Arteta will have to try something different in defense in upcoming games, perhaps with Ben White moving from right back into the center, as Holding simply hasn't looked up to the job of replacing Saliba. Garth Crooks claims Martin Odegaard is the only player Mikel Arteta can trust right now. BBC Sport pundit Garth Crooks has claimed that Martin Odegaard is the only Arsenal player Mikel Arteta can trust right now. Crooks was naming his team of the week after another round of Premier League action. The Norwegian playmaker was the only Arsenal player to make the team this week. He scored a late goal against Southampton on a Friday that set up a dramatic finish and was followed by Bukayo Saka's last gasp equalizer. It was another disappointing result for the Gunners, who have handed the advantage to Manchester City in the title race. Their clash at the Etihad on Wednesday already had huge implications, but now Arsenal have to go and win against Pep Guardiola's side. Brooks was impressed with Martin Odegaard and knows how important he is to Mikel Arteta. There is a reason he was made a club captain in the summer, despite never appearing to be the most dominant personality. The £34 million attacking midfielder has been incredible all campaign and needs to continue that form going into the final few matches. After naming Odegaard in his team of the week, Crooks said, "It's just as well Arsenal have Martin Odegaard in their ranks. The Norway international possesses great leadership skills and a cool head to match. His calm and calculated 1-2 on the edge of the box with Ben White prior to his superb finish said loud and clear that Odegaard is one man Arsenal can certainly count on in the final stages of the season. I am not entirely sure about the rest." Odegaard was urging his Arsenal teammates to calm down during their draw against West Ham last week, and he would have wished he could have had a word with Aaron Ramsdale before kick-off against Southampton. The goalkeeper gave Southampton the lead inside a minute with a poor error. Arteta is unlikely to agree with the Crooks that he can only trust Odegaard within his squad. However, he will be hoping that the likes of Bukayo Saka get back to their best before their biggest game of the season on Wednesday. TalkSPORT pundit makes a championship claim about Rob Holding. Arsenal dropped more points this week and in their quest to win the Premier League title, and TalkSPORT's Gabby Agbonlahor was not impressed. The Gunners did fight back to take a 3-3 draw with bottom club Southampton, but overall, it was a hugely disappointing night for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. It's now three draws on the bounce and a number of goals conceded. The poor run has coincided with the injury to William Saliba, and speaking on TalkSport, Agbonlahor insisted that Saliba's replacement, Rob Holding, is simply not good enough for the Premier League right now. He said, "You look at Holding, for me, he is a championship defender, not good enough to be third choice for a Premier League team trying to win the title. Since Saliba's been injured, they have conceded 9 goals in 3 games. That's not good enough." Holding will have to get up to speed quickly as Arsenal face Manchester City this week. Having got through to the FA Cup final this weekend, City have genuine chances of winning the treble. Rob Holding might not be the best defender in the world, but he does give things a good go and has always been a good squad player for Mikel Arteta. Naturally, he might not be as good as Saliba, and unfortunately for Arsenal, those little margins make a massive difference when going for the big trophies and titles. Holding will have to simply stick at it. City represent a huge test this week, but if Arsenal win, then it's back in their own hands. A big performance from Holding then could change a lot of opinions. Arsenal decided months ago Maitland Niles would leave this summer. Arsenal and Ainsley Maitland Niles mutually agreed months ago that the versatile midfielder would leave the Gunners on a free transfer this summer. That's as according to The Athletic, who report that the 25-year-old will not have the option in his contract taken up by the Arsenal hierarchy. It's not a huge surprise to see Ainsley Maitland Niles find himself on the brink of moving on. He has never quite been able to take that next step and establish himself in Mikel Arteta's side. And as Arsenal have taken several strides forward this term, it makes sense for all parties for Maitland Niles to find a new challenge this summer. According to The Athletic, Maitland Niles will become a free agent, and the decision was taken by Arsenal and the player months ago. Interestingly, Southampton did have the option to sign Maitland Niles permanently, but that clause will be voided, with the Gunners not planning to extend his terms by a further year. That would perhaps suggest that Arsenal were getting the sense that the Suns were not planning to trigger the option, and that would be a little surprise right now. Ruben Salesman are in big danger of dropping out of the Premier League. Meanwhile, Maitland Niles has hardly captured the imagination of the South Coast, but their stance may perhaps change now that the England international is set to be released, and there may well be a number of other sides putting themselves in the mix. It's a shame that he has not been able to really make the grade at Arsenal, but Mikel Arteta has lauded his incredible versatility, so perhaps this may be the decision that allows Maitland Niles to really get his career off the ground. Arsenal ready to make bid for irrepressible £70 million South American midfielder. Arsenal are keen on signing Sporting Lisbon midfielder Manuel Ugarte as Mikel Arteta makes plans for his summer recruitment drive. According to a report from Ojogo this weekend, Mikel Arteta is pushing the Arsenal board hard to try and sign Ugarte this summer. The Uruguayan was a part of the World Cup squad in the winter and has been a key man for Sporting this season. Ugarte is also admired by North London rivals Tottenham. Indeed, it was only a few weeks back that reports claimed Spurs were considering making a big money offer for the midfielder. Sporting are believed to want around £70 million for Ugarte, but there is a release clause closer to £52 million in his current contract. Arsenal are looking towards the summer as they look to continue their successful recruitment drive of recent windows. Ugarte is seen as one of the most promising South American talents in Europe right now. Sporting have had another fantastic year, and the Uruguayan is among a number of players who could move on to bigger and better things. Lauded as being an irrepressible talent by ESPN, Ugarte would add quality to an Arsenal midfield seriously lacking in quality numbers. Arsenal remains keen on the likes of Declan Rice. However, Ugarte is among a number of targets being considered as well. There is no doubting about Manuel Ugarte's quality. He looks every bit the accomplished midfield player, and it's easy to see why Arsenal like him. The one big risk would be that coming from the Portuguese league to England can be hard. We have seen Fabio Vieira struggle in the main for Arsenal, and he was a star over there. If Arsenal can get Declan Rice, then that has to be the one they push through. However, Ugarte does look the part and wouldn't be the worst alternative. Chelsea chief holds direct talks with Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man United transfer target. Chelsea co-owner Todd Bowley has personally intervened to hold direct talks with the Blues midfielder Mason Mount over his future. The England international is nearing the final year of his contract at Stamford Bridge, and it's not yet clear what the future holds for him, as the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester United supposedly show a serious interest in signing him, according to The Athletic. Mount has had a fine career at Chelsea, though he is one of a number of players who have suffered a major dip in form in this extremely challenging campaign for the club. Still, it seems Bowley is eager to keep Mount, and talks may have taken a step in a positive direction following his direct chat with the 24-year-old, according to The Athletic. Given Mount's contract situation, however, it could make sense for Chelsea to let him go this summer, or else they'd risk losing him for free in 2024. There is no doubt the former Derby County loanee could strengthen many other top clubs, with The Athletic also naming Bayern München as potential suitors along with Chelsea's rivals. Arsenal would benefit greatly from strengthening their midfield with a younger player like Mount, whose quality and versatility could make him a great fit for Mikel Arteta's style of play. Man United might also do well to improve in that area of the pitch, with Mount perhaps ideal as a long-term successor to Christian Eriksen. Liverpool also urgently need to strengthen in midfield, with Fabrizio Romano explaining that they could make 2 to 3 signings in that position this summer, with Mount alongside Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch as their main targets. Journalist says that Arsenal will not make a new move for Barcelona man. According to journalist Dean Jones, Arsenal is unlikely to invest a significant amount of money in a player who plays in the same position as Bukayo Saka, despite previously attempting to sign a Brazilian winger Rafinha. The 26-year-old Rafinha was the subject of a transfer battle last summer when he left Leeds United, although he ultimately joined Barcelona. Both Chelsea and Arsenal were believed to have made offers for him. However, Rafinha's time in Catalonia hasn't gone as planned, and he has been relegated to a backup role behind Ousmane Dembélé, Xavi's preferred right-sided winger. Due to his desire for more playing time, and the clubs need to comply with financial fair play regulations, the South American may return to the Premier League. Despite Rafinha's availability, Jones wrote on Give Me Sport that he believes Arsenal is unlikely to pursue him due to his high price tag. He said, "The next step, though, is to address what his market is. Arsenal tried to sign him, and we will have to gauge whether they would be interested in going back down that path." Jones is skeptical about Arsenal's willingness to invest heavily in a player who will compete with Bukayo Saka. Jones suggests that Arsenal is more likely to seek a player who is a tier lower than Rafinha, given his high price tag of £55 million. He went on to add, "Another wide forward to bulk up the squad for when they are also in the Champions League is one of the noises I am hearing. I am just a little skeptical about whether they would invest this heavily in a player to compete with Bukayo Saka." Sky Sports Pundit praises world-class Arsenal target Declan Rice. Sky Sports pundit Alan Smith was full of praise for West Ham midfielder and Arsenal transfer target Declan Rice, as the Hammers easily beat Bournemouth. Rice has been linked to the Gunners for a while now. The Hammers captain is also a key player for England and will not want to be involved in another relegation battle next year. No doubt, many believe that the 24-year-old is going to be key for England for many years. To make sure he is at his best, he needs to be challenging at a higher level. Arsenal are yet to put in an official bid. It will be interesting to see if they mount the pressure on the Hammers when the summer transfer window opens in a couple of months. Danny Cowley was the pundit for the match between Bournemouth and West Ham, following Declan Rice scoring his first goal of the match and the third of the game. Cowley praised the midfielder. Speaking on Sky Sports, he said, "Declan Rice, he is like two players for West Ham. He is unbelievable, world class, and he is starting to add goals to his game as well. Rice has been in great form. He now has managed back-to-back goals for the club. The other came during the week. as West Ham beat Genk to advance to the semi-final of the Europa Conference League. Everyone knows he is a great defensive midfielder, but now that he is scoring and in great form, he will definitely have more clubs on high alert. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.